Hi, I'm Untitled. You're watching Animation Trivia. And welcome back to another Star Wars edition of Animation Trivia with, of course, I'm going to be covering adult animation. Where, first off, we're going to start off as Drawn Together, where we see a couple references of the Phantom Menace. Let's start off with the reference of the Phantom Menace with Princess Clara looking like Princess Leia next to the Harvey Birdman looking as character, which is also an adult animated programming with also parody of Hanna-Barbera cartoons. And the next thing we see is, of course, the Senator Sith Lord. Of course, I apologize for going political for this one. Is, of course, says a Republican senator from Michigan. And yeah, I do watch C-SPAN, and also C-SPAN 2, just in case. For, for what's going on with the issues. But, we're not going to talk about my political agendas. We're going to talk about for my love for animation and the trivias. But, yeah, kind of like Palpatine, how he is the Senate. But let's continue on with the Drawn Together trivia. And in an episode of Drawn Together, we see Foxy Love, voiced by Cree Summer, using the lightsaber, which is also kind of a spicy item, which I cannot mention here because I don't want to get demonetized. And she uses it on her sensitive place, and of course, the Force is strong in her, Kriff. And we also see the character called Wardlow Jebediah. Forgot his name, but he's voiced by James Earl Taylor, which is the strange coincidence, who's also the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And in that scene, he used a lightsaber to cut open Toot, who of course was drunk. But yeah, again, I had to censor this because don't want to get demonetized. But however, I just want to say, of course, and she's like, I thought I smelled bad on the outside. And then she collapsed. But yeah, back to Wardlow, Jebediah, whatever his last name is. He was voiced by James Earl Taylor, who is also the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Clone Wars movie, the Clone Wars TV series, and of course, and the micro series, and in the video games too. And there's an episode which, of course, he strikes again at the office prank with Foxy Love. Like with the man who had the staple to his head. But yet the woman is going to have her head smashed by the giant water bottles. Like on Return of the Jedi with the Skywalkers. And we see the Ewoks on there celebrating her prank. And yes, even the Cleveland show has a Star Wars references. Like Cleveland Jr. on an episode of the Cleveland show was dressed like Boba Fett. Or in this one, where the R2-D2 with the afro is a direct reference to the original trilogy of Family Guy Star Wars parodies. Which Cleveland was R2-D2 and Quagmire was C-3PO. Yeah, or the episode of the Cleveland show where Roberta dressed as a fat woman because, he used the name Tyra Banks. And they were having a science fair project. And of course the nerds, however, were being chased by the things that turned into TIE fighters. which of course gave Tyra Banks and Cleveland Jr. the win. And we also see Donna Tubbs give it a ride on the end of an episode with Lando Calrissian, who is voiced by Billy D. Williams, who of course appeared on Robot Chicken, the video games, well, the canon ones, and of course, you know, like every Star Wars, it has Lando Calrissian in there. And his response was, works every time. And it is time for Futurama, where of course I had a lot of sci-fi references. But I'm just going to focus on the Star Wars ones. Like where Professor Farnsworth have created the protocol droid looking thing, like, you know, looking like C-3PO, to be fair. But then an experiment fell, and of course, he destroyed it. Or in the episode where Farnsworth, of course, don't want to live on Earth anymore, and we see the, instead of bot displayed, and we can see the R2-D2 looking robot on on display. And we see Fry, if you see the special edition on the end credits after the Mark Hamill guest star of Luke Skywalker on The Simpsons, it comes up Futurama with Kip bringing that ball-looking thing, like Obi-Wan Kenobi did with Luke Skywalker, and Fry was just looking at it, well, not looking at it, but feel it, and then smack it like it was a piñata. And the other trainers, of course, were digging it like candy, you know? Yet, there's another Futurama episode with the same New Hope reference. With Bender using a lightsaber knife to peel a hover potato. And yes, we have an Empire Strikes Back reference on Futurama. That, of course, with Farnsworth's clone and Hermes' son being chased by the dog. Yet the giant worm from the Empire Strikes Back ate the dog. The last one for Futurama is, of course, the parody names of Star Wars. They got the Galaxy Wars. Okay, that's going to do about it for Futurama. Now we're going to transition into The Simpsons with Cosmic Wars. As we see Comic Book Guy just showed a tape to his new girlfriend, the Cosmic War Holiday Special, which is, of course, one of George Lucas's notorious holiday specials to make. And it's never been on Disney Plus, and it's never been re-aired ever again. But if the YouTube channel's on there, and I'll send a link below. And yes, we have a Thanksgiving parody of Darth Vader and his family. We're covering up a turkey. But wait, Anthony has 2 children, Luke and Leia. And his wife Padme had died. And we see Santa's little helper wearing a Darth Vader mask. And Homer thought that that's really Darth Vader. And he said, I would do my bidding, my master. But yeah, other than that was a pretty funny scene, to be fair. And we also have a Simpsons Couch Gag, which, yep, another Griffin Bespin reference. But, yeah, of course we're on the Empire Strikes Back, where Han Solo has been placed in a carbon freezing chamber. And the Simpsons sit down, and of course it was hidden as the carbon freezing chamber, and we see Boba Fett just gonna take the Simpsons to Jabba the Hutt. In which we get to the later one. And apologies for not mentioning this one on the Drawn Together one, but I just want to save this for last, which of course is to explain with the helmet and then put on the Mickey Mouse ears like it was Darth Vader. Yeah, this is the real kicker, folks. Because at October 30th, 2012, this ain't a reference, but this aged accurately. George Lucas has sold his property to the Walt Disney Company. And on the Simpsons episode, where of course Cosmic Wars was sold to Disney, and we see the Country Stormtrooper Jamboree, which is a reference of the Country Bear Jamboree. Jim Jam Bonk's Wild Ride, which of course is a reference to a Disney ride. And Jabba's the Tiki Hut, which is a reference to the Tiki Room. But yes, years later, after George Lucas has sold his property to Disney, Rupert Murdoch, the founder of Fox, the Fox Corporation Company, has of course been bought by Disney, which of course owns the rights to Family Guy and Always Sunny in Philly, and of course The Simpsons. Now, be clear that Always Sunny in Philly is not an animated show. I just love that. I love that show. And yeah, we're gonna be surrounded by the empire soon of Disney, Warner Brothers, and of course Universal. Alright guys, that's gonna be about it for Revenge of the 5th edition of the adult animation with, of course, the Simpsons and of everything else. I'm Toad y'all, and thank you for watching Animation Trivia.